Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN, and visit my custom link expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. I've been thinking a lot about the awaited Oppressor Mk nerf and supposed quality of life updates coming to the game in the next update, and after my stream a few days ago, it also made me see things a bit more realistically when it comes to the state of the free mode environment in GTA Online. So I kind of just wanted to tell you guys how it is and just kind of vent a little in this video. First, I do want to discuss the Mk nerf because I've seen a very wide range of differing opinions on it. I've seen some people mad that it's getting nerfed. I've seen people say that the nerf is only going to hurt grinders that use it. My take on it is this, and it might be a hard pill to swallow for some people. You know, some people might not want to admit this even though they know it's true. The Oppressor Mk is overpowered in both PvE and PvP scenarios. Trust me, I use it for doing PvE activities too, but I would be lying to myself if I said it didn't trivialize pretty much every form of PvE the game has to offer. It makes it much easier for grinding because it's flat out overpowered for grinding, really. I mean, think about it. Name any other vehicle in GTA Online that you can spawn next to you, is fast, small, agile, can fly, and is equipped with some of the best homing missiles in the entire game. No other vehicle has every one of those properties simultaneously. And in PvP, we all know why it's annoying. The practically never miss missiles combined with its small hitbox and massive amounts of agility make helicopters completely unusable. I mean, they were already bad before, but if you're in the presence of a Mk II, I mean, just jump out preemptively. It saves you the time. So it definitely needs a nerf in PvP as well. Well, that was tough. Now, all those missiles would have missed if this had buzzard missiles. Now, the supposed nerf that is planned, Rockstar are pretty vague in the description of it. All they say is they are reducing the effectiveness of the Oppressor Mk II homing missiles and the countermeasures. And this could mean a plethora of things. It could mean they're nerfing the tracking of the missiles. It could mean they're lowering the lock-on range. Maybe they're nerfing the rate of fire of the missiles. Maybe the blast radius, ammo count. Any of the things I just listed could be considered reducing the effectiveness. And let me tell you something though, no matter what they do to nerf the Mk II missiles, the Oppressor Mk II is still going to remain one of the best grinding vehicles in the entire game. Hell, they could remove the homing missiles and it would still be one of the best grinding vehicles, just off of the transportation aspect alone. First of all, half of the nerf they talk about here with the countermeasure nerf, that's not even going to affect anyone who does not partake in any form of PvP. That is strictly a PvP change because the enemy AI aren't spawning in their own Mk II oppressors and spamming missiles at you. But for a second, let's just pretend that Rockstar completely nerfs the Mk II into the ground with every sort of missile nerf possible. And somehow now, the Mk II Oppressor isn't the best vehicle for grinding anymore. I'm struggling to find out how exactly that's a bad thing. I mean, God forbid you have to use any other vehicle out of the hundreds of vehicles in the game on your money-making endeavors. To me, that would make the game much more fun and less like I'm just shutting my brain off and spawning the Mk II for every single mission. And like I said, I also use the Oppressor Mk II for doing missions, but I encourage variety and balance and fun more than anything. Just because the Oppressor Mk II can make you a lot of money very fast does not mean it's healthy for the game as a whole when one vehicle is the end-all be-all for grinding, especially when said vehicle also is a nuisance on the PvP side of things. And believe it or not, someday GTA 6 is going to be here. Are we all going to get mad when you can't use the flying bike to grind in that game's online component? For some reason, people had no problem grinding using the buzzard back in the day when it didn't have god-tier missiles like the Oppressor Mk II does, but now we're saying it's going to hurt grinding when the Oppressor Mk II gets a missile nerf? A common argument that you see opposing the Oppressor Mk II nerf is that griefers are still going to find a way to grief even if the Oppressor is nerfed, so it's pointless to even nerf it in the first place, which I just find to be such a weak argument because you can apply that to literally any problem in life as an excuse to not try to combat the issue. Oh, if a burglar truly wanted to break into my house, he's going to find a way, so what's the point of even locking the door? Hackers? Oh, they're going to find a way to get us, they're going to find a way to hack us, so let's just not update our cybersecurity measures. Imagine if modern medical science applied this same exact logic. You know, cancer, it's really always going to be a thing, it's always been a thing, so why try to find better treatments? Why bother trying to find a cure if it's always going to be here? Anyways, I'm getting a little off topic here. Back to the case with GTA Online. The game gives you weaponized vehicles to do whatever you want with. All this weaponry, aircraft, etc. People are going to grief, and they actually want you to PvP. That's how it's always going to be in a GTA game, in a multiplayer environment. Even back in GTA 4's multiplayer, no one was given the Annihilator. You couldn't buy it and spawn it in yourself. You had to actually go to the airport and grab it, and that's what people did. And that was part of the fun of GTA 4's multiplayer, was just having fun in free mode doing that stuff. The point of an Oppressor Mk II nerf isn't to combat the griefing though, because if they want to do that, they just disable PvP entirely when on a cell mission. It's to encourage better vehicle balance in PvP so that when you do get griefed, it's not as annoying. So that maybe you have a better chance of fighting back against that Mk II that's trying to harass you. So that other vehicles might have a chance to compete with it. In turn, you might see less griefers using the Mark II, but that's not really the main function of a nerf. You have to look at the bigger picture. And what if people switch to the Deluxo as their main griefing vehicle after the Mark II? Guess what? The Deluxo doesn't have countermeasures, it's much slower than the Mark II Oppressor, and the hitbox is much bigger, so it's a lot easier to hit. That's 3 disadvantages that the Mark II doesn't have, so it'll be much easier to take out in any sort of situation, already much more balanced. An argument that does have some merit to it though is that the Oppressor Mark II issue is only a piece of the pie in terms of things that need addressing in free mode and in PvP. I've seen many people say that the players will just return to the laser or Hydra for griefing purposes because of the explosive cannons, which are another problem that need to be dealt with because those are also annoying, overpowered, and just not fun to deal with. And that's on top of the orbital cannon problems, the CEO limit, RC vehicle spam, the multiple god mode glitches, thermal vision while in jets. I mean, there are a lot of things that are about on the same level as the Mark II Oppressor problem in terms of annoyance or overpoweredness. Only fixing the Oppressor Mark II problem is kind of akin to falling into a pile of shit, having it all over your body, and then only cleaning your arm off, let's just say. Well, you still smell like shit, but now your arm is just clean. That's essentially what's going to happen if the Mark II is the only thing that gets changed with this update. Yeah, that one Oppressor Mark II shit stain might be gone, but there's still a ton of shit to go around. I know that might sound hypocritical because this kind of uses that same logic of people are going to grief no matter what, using whatever exploits or overpowered things they can find. But that's the key word, overpowered and exploitative things. Because everything that I just listed falls under that category, and removing one overpowered or broken thing is not going to make a big difference in the grand scheme of things when there are a ton of other equally busted things that are going to still exist. PvP without all that nonsense and broken shit is actually really fun, and it's one of the reasons why public lobbies are so entertaining in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy they're deciding to nerf the Oppressor Mark II after all these years, but at the same time, we're going to need more than just a Mark II nerf after so many years of not doing any rebalances or important fixes, because they've all just piled up over time. On the flip side though, saying they shouldn't change the Oppressor because of the existence of other problems like I mentioned is kind of silly, because at the end of the day, they are all still problems, and trying to rank them in terms of importance is very subjective at best. Some people will have more problems with the Oppressor Mark II, other people have more problems with the orbital cannon, other people have more problems with jets. Rockstar did say that these are just a few of the experience improvements that will be coming this summer, implying that there is more that they haven't announced yet, so there is a chance they will address more of the issues, but I really wouldn't get your hopes up too much. I would tailor your expectations a bit. Anyways, that is going to wrap up this commentary slash rant vid, I guess you can call it. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are about this. Do you agree or disagree with what I've said? And if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like, as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.